Yeah, so anyway, day seven, month one, day seven of this thing. You can see here I've got a little title card for the start of the stream here. Figured I should ramp up the production value of this a little bit so I'm not like, planning my whole day on the fly at the beginning of the stream or anything like that. So anyway, I just wanted to start out with kind of a summary of where we've been this week. So, yeah, I guess I could best summarize it as new things are hard, and if you chill out for a day, you can make the new things easier. So, yeah, it's Wednesday, January 13th. So, Monday and Tuesday, at least my intention was to spend the day working on like actual game logic. So, we're in week two of the project. Week one was just kind of like getting everything set up, like getting the stream set up, promoting, taking my first steps with the Clojure programming language, getting things like kind of established and all those like foundational blocks in place. And yeah, at least I intended for this week to be the beginning of coding the actual game logic itself. And so to do that, we're going to use a technology called websockets. And what websockets do is allow you to have like a kind of instantaneous connection between a client device like your phone and a host device like the server that the actual game runs on. So here's a phone for a visual aid if you don't know what one of those looks like. Yeah, anyway, it's definitely the tool to use, but it's also a tool I have like zero experience with. I know a little bit about it, but I don't really know how it works. And so, yeah, I'm like, yeah, maybe we should bring this up. Yeah, let's bring this up now. Delete. Yeah, so anyway, I'm getting started with like WebSockets, and I'm also getting started with Clojure. And I was having a bunch of difficulties with both like kind of the Clojure like tooling system, so all the stuff that goes into like actually running the language and like configuring stuff. So I was having trouble with that. Don't really know like anything about WebSockets, and we finally had a little bit of a breakthrough after like a Monday spent with like just kind of like hitting my head on the wall in the dark. Tuesday we found a demo repo that like we could get running, and like the WebSocket client connection could get set up on the front end. We had a server that could upgrade the client to WebSocket connections at the back end, but the second I tried to like actually change it and add my own like WebSocket messages and try to send like something custom back and forth, like just like literally the easiest thing, I got like super stumped. So that was like pretty rough altogether, right? Like we're getting used to Clojure, we're getting used to the environment and the tooling. WebSockets, that's like pretty intense. Oh, and yeah, that demo repo we found as well was using something called Reframe, which I think is like a little bit like Redux in JavaScript land, if you're familiar with that state management library. That's one of the popular tools for like kind of managing global state and hooking up components to global state. So I know a little bit of Redux. I've never used Reframe before, so that was like another like huge topic to like pile on top of this whole thing as I'm trying to just get the thing to chooch basically. Yeah, it's like a lot of newness, and I don't know. Newness is like really nice because if you lived a life without anything novel in it, then that gets kind of boring and unsatisfying after a while. But if you have too much newness, it can be really discouraging because you're trying to eat 3 slices of pie all at the same time when really you should just be focusing on like one piece of pie at a time. Because like let's be honest, being realistic, that's all you can really manage. You have to kind of acknowledge your limitations more often than not. So yeah, the big idea, and I'm a big fan of like taking breaks. I'm trying to like encourage a healthy mindset while I'm doing all this, because it's just difficult enough like working on your own, right? I mean, having the benefit of like working in a more traditional work environment, having coworkers around to, be accountable to and to work for and with, and having a boss who's like setting your agenda for the day. That's really a lot easier in a lot of ways, as opposed to, just like having to come up with your own day and having to kind of manage yourself in that way. So, if I'm going to do this for a whole year, if I'm going to run the whole marathon, if I'm going to do this like 12 times in a row, then, really going to need to be like kind to myself and, step back from something that is too difficult or is making me frustrated. I thought today we would focus on building some front-end templates. So we're not going to be doing the game logic, but we are going to be building out the screens, essentially. So just like static templates written in Hiccup. And then once we do finally get the game logic going, all we need to do is take those like static HTML pages, put in little template spots for all the variable information coming from the server, and it'll just involve like a little bit of wiring and some event handlers, and then it'll be the real thing. We'll keep going. So I figured this is a good opportunity to use tech that I have a good grasp on, which is like CSS and HTML. I've used that a lot. I know it really well. We're using this library called Tailwind last week, which is this like really cool CSS utility library that I've heard a lot about, but used for the first time last week. Really enjoyed using that. Looking forward to getting deeper into it. So that'll be good for like giving me a break from all this like difficult novelty we're experiencing. And it'd be a good opportunity to like practice and refine some Clojure skills that I already have. So this comes down to like basic HTTP servers, routing, receiving requests, sending requests. So this is some stuff I have like, a medium amount of experience in, and just taking more opportunities to like, write more HTTP routes, using my frameworks of choice, getting more comfortable with like learning the conventions of the libraries and, just the kind of like rote step-by-step process you go through when you're dealing with things like that. So it's really good to drill those things since you have to do them a lot. And if you've drilled them, then you'll gain a better understanding of how they work. And if you have to debug them, you can use that. Knowledge. So that's kind of a short-term investment with short-term and long-term payoffs for me as well as I get more comfortable with Clojure. So anyway, that's the plan. I thought it'd be cool to like introduce this as an idea for the day. So a mantra for today. The mantra is you don't have to eat the whole pie. So I'm not sure if you guys have seen, but on startupinamonth.net we have a summary of the month 1, week 1 progress on the project, and in that final section I mentioned that I think about the metaphor of a pie eating contest like quite a lot. So the idea there is that you have like this pie to eat, and it's this like massive big thing, and you're like not sure if you can do it. And so if you're like staring at the pie the whole time, then that is going to make you like really nervous, right? Because that's all you can see. You could possibly imagine like fitting that whole thing to your stomach, and it's like really discouraging and makes you want to quit, right? But kind of the trick is like not looking at the pie, not thinking about the pie. All you need to do is focus on the slice that's like immediately in front of you, right? So that's all you're responsible for. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to finish. And then when you're done with that, you move on to the next one and the next one and the next one. And before you know it, you've like eaten the whole pie and you didn't even realize it. So anyway, if you want to check that out, that is at startupinmonth.net, down here in the recent post section. And that'll be my mantra for today. I do not have to eat the whole pie. So anyway, let's cool off the brakes. I guess you can call it cooling off the brakes. Let's cool the jets here. Let's do something that is both productive and a little easier than what we had before us yesterday. So, Right, things to do. Okay, step one is, get the old server back up and running. Step two will be to define some super simple routes for templates. Step three, make a templates module. Morning, Cliff. How's it going, man? Good to see you. Hope you're doing okay. I'm wondering if there's any snow up in the Adirondacks. Cause I'm here in Ithaca. We got a little bit of snow, like in the country on the hills, like outside the city. But it's been kind of funny for me to discover that like Ithaca has its own like little microclimate. So like New York City. A common thing to notice is that New York City will be like a few degrees warmer than all the other surrounding area around it, and that's because like there's so much concrete and so many skyscrapers and buildings, and so what that does is the sunlight comes in, hits the buildings, like, and they heat up, and then they release their heat overnight, and that makes a lot of sense with New York, right? But I'm kind of noticing it with Ithaca too, since this is like a lot more buildup than the farms around the country. So I'm seeing that as well. But I'm curious. Is there like snow around Us Able, or has it all kind of melted off now? And while you are presumably preparing a answer for me, I'll keep on keeping on with my things to do. Got about 6 inches of snow. Nice. Oh, you have your own microclimate? Ah, that's crazy. Yeah, I guess you're around like a lot of houses, right? So yeah, it's not like forest per se. That adds a lot of heat. Beginning of dusting most nights. That's really nice. Waking up to fresh snow is really nice. I quite enjoy that. And hopefully we get some soon. Anyway, get the old server back up and running, define some super simple routes for the templates, make a template module, which serves Hiccup HTML and style them. The mountains, indeed. All right. So anyway, Cliff, we're kind of ditching WebSockets for a little while. I think I'm gonna give my brain like kind of a day to like step away from that and like loosen up a little bit, since it's been like really difficult on Monday and Tuesday. So yeah, we're gonna build like the template for the game today. We're just gonna use like Tailwind, which I think you saw me using last week, and just like take it easy for a minute, and then I'm sure the WebSocket stuff is gonna get a whole lot easier when my brain has had a chance to breathe. So that is the game plan for today. This is the WebSocket thing. Let's close that. Thank you. I'm glad you agree. And let's get back to our old server, the one we were working on this whole time. 2004. All right, here we go. Morning summary, we're done with that. Building game page templates in Hiccup and Tailwind. All right, there we go. Cool. So let's close all this stuff. Right, okay, so we got this index HTML. I think we were serving a React CLJS front end. Right, we were all messed up with WebSocket stuff. I wonder if I can just Control Z. No, I can't. but I can probably manage to delete all the irrelevant things. Static site config, handler, register email we still want. Okay, here's our email handler from before. Here's our get route test. Stop server. WebSocket config. We can delete that outright. Okay, database. Doesn't hurt to have all those dependencies required but unused, and I think that's it, right? Oh boy. There we go. All right, let's start this baby up. Let's see if it still runs. It's been a couple days, and we did some crazy configuration stuff. Okay, now we load code in. Yes. And I forgot how to call the commands. Alt Control C enter, right? Yeah, so maybe we should get rid of this. Send is the WebSocket library. We don't need that. We should probably start the Mongo server too, right? Searching through my Z shell history is not a good thing to do on a live stream. There we go. That's the command. Now I'll start the DB. Great. And we'll also start, oh God. Just keep that here as our handy reference. Cool. All right. Okay, so we got rid of our offending libraries running on port 3000, and if we go to localhost 3000, we should get our uh-oh. Resources public. What's up with my index.html file now? API default static site config. There we go. All right. I don't know why that's happening, but we can fix it later. All right. So, yeah, like I said, we're going to be doing the templates for the game. And we're going to be using a technology called Hiccup. This is like a server-side, like, I think they call it a DSL, domain-specific language, but essentially what this is a library for writing like super terse HTML. I guess you could say it's a little bit like handlebars or something, or whatever that thing with the squids is. EJS, yeah, similar to EJS. So yeah, I want to write my templates in here because you can also use Hiccup with React. So if I write the templates in Hiccup, then by the time it comes to turn them into React components, that'll be a really easy process. Just like a copy and paste thing. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to define like a separate module just to keep things like organized. So we're going to call this like templates.closure. In here, I'm going to define a bunch of functions that are going to like give me back the various pages of the game. So like the plot, entry, page, the like the presentation of the plot, voting page, things like that. And so each one of those is going to be its own separate function, and it's going to respond to its own individual route. So instead of like index.html, I'm going to go to like voting page, and it's going to give me the template for that. So that's what we're going to do. Let's just get this figured out real quick. Responsive iPhone 10. Is that a reasonable screen size to expect nowadays? I think so. Yeah, okay, so let's call that an iPhone 10. Now we got our templates file written, so let's write our first route. Okay. So that's going to be like a define function. I'm going to call it like plot input. That's going to get a request. Let's let ourselves know that we're getting a request on this. Getting plot input request. All right, and then we're going to respond with status 200 headers. Say text or HTML file. And the body is the result of calling our plot input function, which doesn't exist yet. But let's require it up here. Okay. So I know how to require fairly comfortable with requiring an external library, but this, as I remember, had some good examples of how to require a like module that you wrote yourself. So if we go to like main, yep, source main, example backend. All right, so you just give it the namespace you're in, right? And I think that example backend. All right, so whatever you called it up here, it's going to give you a good idea what you need to call the other ones. All right, plotters dots templates refer. What did I say this is going to be? Plot input. Plot input. All right. Now we just need to write that function, and yeah, let's just define plot input. And let's just return like hello from the templates. All right. Yeah, let's see if that works. probably have to reload the code, yeah. Oh, plot input does not exist. For plot inputs. Plot, oh, yeah, I called it the same thing twice, didn't I? I also didn't have a handler. Get plot input. Plot input front. Now it's complaining about some syntax. Ah. Run curly brace. All right. It's not curly brace, it's a paren. Okay. Zero args, but expects one. Plot input does not exist. Plotters.templates refer plot inputs. Yeah, it sure seems to exist, doesn't it? I'm gonna do this. Still don't know what that does. Hope I find out soon. I don't need to load you into the REPL, do I? Nah, that's very curious. Because, like, I've got this file. This is the REPL. You can think of this as, like, both the command line, so, like, kind of like, you know, where you go to, like, run an app, and it's also where you can go to, like, interact with the app after it's running too, which I haven't really done so much yet. But yeah, it's supposed to be one of the big benefits of the language is having this, like, REPL thing. And so, yeah, if you want to run a file, I've been using this, like, command, Control Option C, Enter, that evaluates the file, loads it into the REPL, and runs, like, all that code. And so, this whole time I've been, like, requiring libraries, and I haven't had to load them, like, individually into the REPL. Like, this require statement just kind of, like, brings them along, I would assume. But when I tried to define my own just now, it seemed I had to load it into the REPL before I could call it. Well, actually, let's test this theory. Because the other thing I did was I added this gen class thing. I don't know what that does. I don't think I want to goof with that just now, because that seems like a massive rabbit hole. If my spider senses serve me. So let's see if we can start up now, and if it'll be happy. All right, now if I do that. Evaluating the file, we are finding it valid. Okay, so I guess that gen class thing is important, whatever that is. We'll file that away for off-screen reading. Okay, cool. So we're in the server. We're getting the template back. Nice. Okay, so now we need to add Hiccup. But first and foremost, we need to turn typewriter mode off. Typewriter. View typewriter mode. Okay. Done. Thumbs up. Took us nearly 15 minutes and we checked something off our list. Excellent. All right. Get some super simple routes for the templates. We're done with that. Cool. Make a template module which serves Hiccup HTML. This is the part we're going to be working on next. All right. Yeah, so the first thing is we need to check if we have Hiccup as a dependency. We don't, so we need to add that first. All right. Project CLJ. Hiccup clojars. All right, so we add that. Then we go back to the docs and we figure out document. Man, for such a ubiquitous library, one would expect that it would come with a better documentation than just, you know, how to use this in a REPL. A lot of, yeah, this is always the case with anything, right? Slurpee forward, Hiccup core as, I think I can just do that and get all the Hiccup stuff into my namespace, but yeah, there's always a lot of like assumed information. Like this documentation assumes that you know how to require a closure module, which, you know, I suppose is relatively fair, but man, the more explicit you can be in terms of you know, helping people along with you know, simple stuff, the better, in my opinion. Yeah, Hiccup 105. So let's just copy this and see if this works. You need to go in a function. Yep. Rather, you need to be wrapped in a form so your function can be called. Hello from the templates. Perhaps one too many forms. Yeah, it's fine. Why are we still getting the old file? I think this is the point where we getting started with Hiccup closure, Hiccup samples. Perfect. Layout and contents. So we got this layout function and this contents function. As a writer of documentation, cold. Yeah, it's a tricky skill because you gotta like get into the heads of the people you're like writing to, right? Like, it's a big exercise in like kind of figuring out like what they know or trying to like imagine what you think they know and don't know and presenting the information in a way that like gives them what they need but delivers it in such a way that they're gonna like understand it or even find it in the first place. So it's a very hard thing to do well. Gets the application contents index. This is a little weird, but I don't mind. In that this is just stuff I'm gonna be like deleting anyway. So because this is a good guide, I gotta stick with it. Okay, layouts, contents, don't know what those do. When you get something on a route, do this. Okay, so instead of plot inputs, layout application, oh wait, hold on. That's the function I pass to the get function. Layout application, plot inputs, serve up contents index. All right. Do I need to require those, or does Hiccup just know where to look? Looks like a nice thing to copy paste. Oh man. New folder, views, layout.clj. Plotters views layout, yep. And we're going to use, don't know what use is. Some automagical thingy I would presume. Yeah, so can I like start this now? Yes, it's just the usual handler. Not related to Hiccup. Okay. So let's start her up. Whoop. Hiccup templating, there's a library we need. But should come. Hiccup composure, ring, jetty adapter. Oh, these are the modules. Oh, okay. Okay. views.layout. We also need contents. New file contents.clj. Yep, use hiccup form. Okay. Layouts. Application. Still don't know, and I need to load something into the REPL. Okay, so now I should get something. Hello, Hiccup. All right, cool. Don't understand that at all, but it doesn't matter because it's working. Oh shit, Connor, as a writer of documentation gulp, I thought that was Cliff. Sorry, I didn't look at the username. Welcome back, man. Day 2. You guys should get Sari in here. That'd be fun. Okay, so contents and layout. Title and content. So that comes from here. Index. All right. Well, I don't really know. I don't really know what's going on here, but I'm at where I need to be with functions that return Hiccup templates, which I can use for making the actual layouts of the page. So, yep, we're here. We're here. We got there. We should mark down that we did. Okay. Done. Thumbs up. Here we go. All right, now we're gonna style them. Right, yeah. So we got a few things we want to do, right? Let's figure out what we want to actually style first. But which pages? Okay, so we have like. I got some things we need to draw. All right. Well, let's list out what we need first, and then we'll draw our notebook layouts after that. Okay, so we need a voting page. We need a plot input page. We need yeah, I guess we need like a game lobby. So this would be like when you join a game and you're waiting for players to finish joining with you, and then you can choose to start the game. So, yep, game lobby, that makes sense. Voting page, results. All right, yeah, you could argue these are really the same page with different elements added and removed, but essentially this is a page where you can vote on the plot that you think is the real one, and then a results page with some like visual representation of like how other people voted and whether or not they were correct. All right, plot input page. That's where you're typing out your actual plot. Game lobby. It's probably more than enough for this morning, but do I need anything else? Yeah, login page / sign up page. User settings page, so you can change your email or change your password, something like that. Yeah, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, right? So let's start with that. And let's pick an easiest one to start with. Voting page results, plot input. Let's start with this one. Okay. Okay. We are making the plot input page in Hiccup and Tailwind. Cool, so we're gonna start there. All right. Plot inputs. I'm not even using this anymore, so let's get rid of it. Contents. Plot inputs. All right, this is no longer index, this is plot inputs. And do I have to reload this thing every time? I do. So we definitely got to reload the server. Let's see if we need to reload this. Change on refresh. Yeah, there's a bit of an issue, right? I wonder if I could run my fig wheel thing. Fig wheel made Eden. That's what I really want. Sorry, Calva, I don't know how to do this with you. It's like a hot reloading process. It's like if I have to go through and like reload the server, reload the template every single time, that's a ton of time spent on bouncing back and forth between VS Code tabs and HTML just to see if like my div showed up or something like that. So let's see if we can get Figwheel doing what we didn't want it to do before, which was reload my backend server. I wonder if the CLJ tool can do this for me. Flash closure dependency hot reload. Closure. reload enclosure script. It's not really what we need. Boy, I had this accidentally configured to happen with Figwheel. Then I added this Figwheel main file after the fact. True. Tips.eden, you don't specify anything there. Boy, it'd be nice to have a Git history of what I did here, right? All right. There's like a -I command with Figwheel. Core. Maybe if I just tell it to -b dev. Don't think that'll work, but let's give it a shot. Oh. Yeah, it's not going to work. And nothing, right? Well, it's not great, but at least when I'm making changes here, I'll just have to do like a quick, like, you know, C enter. So I'll just have to remember when I'm like writing my templates to load the template code into the REPL, and then yeah, that'll be good enough for a while for now. Not want to get too tied up and yet more technical problems on what is supposed to be my my easy day. And when you get down to it, if we're only working in one file, we'll to resolve simple HTML in this context. Template CLJ. Because I had to do all this. No, we're not using that file at all, so how about we just delete you? Now we can run. Now namespace, plotters, templates. Right, because we just deleted that. Okay. Okay, here we go. One more time. Running on the server. Okay, cool. We're back to where we started. Let's clean up some tabs. Oh, we got Angular. That's interesting. All right, includes CSS. I wonder if I just did like link rel style sheet source local host 3000 resources public. Actually, I might just do like tailwind.css. Did I get it? I requested it. This is yet another one of those things where I'm not really sure of the syntax. Sure enough, it's not source, it's href. Okay. Load it in, refresh, and we got it. Maybe this includes CSS thing. Colon // We got it. Nope. That's okay, because we can do a tailwind CDN. Documentation, CDN. Legal character paths. Ooh, interesting. Index 30? In character path, index 30. URL CDN. At symbol. URL encoding reference. I think it's this thing. I think the at or the carrots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Alright, it's the at. %40. Before we do that, let's make sure this even works. %40 does. Okay. Now we go here. Nope, not there. We go here. Okay. Now I'm pretty sure we got it. All right. So we got Tailwind in here. That's good. All right. Now we got everything we need to do to actually do this. Which one did I say I was even doing? The plot input page. Say fiddling with Figwheel, Johnny says, but that compiles closure script and handles its auto reloading, but won't do anything for you like that for regular closure. Yeah. So I think, yeah, you're definitely right, Johnny. Although, man, I'm not sure if I'm like half remembering this or like remembering it wrong, but I seem to remember having like Figwheel configuration at some point, which was like running my closure server inadvertently. And the Figwheel docs. Figwheel docs. Yeah, by the way, thanks for joining the stream, man. Good to have you in the chat. Clue. If we go to the documentation. Hunt, reload, clue. God, what was that thing? Reload CLJ files. God, am I going completely insane? Is this the documentation? Is this real life? Here's the tutorial. Reload. Reload CLJ files, Figwheel. Your own server. Yeah, I was trying that yesterday actually. Worked out okay. Reload CLJ files. Yeah, this is it. Reloading closure code. So if closure code is on a watched path, Figwheel will reload it when it changes. It does this because closure script macros are defined in closure and not closure script. So that led me to believe that like Figwheel could run a closure file, but really maybe what that means is I need to start it up by some other process. So I need to like start my closure server as I normally would, and then Figwheel will like actually reload it just as like a matter of course. Which like might not be like the intended result. So maybe that's what I was seeing. Yeah, maybe it's like a matter of like Figwheel just like reloading those files and like inadvertently running the server as opposed to like starting the server from the get-go. So yeah, I think that's what was going on. I always run 2 REPLs for server versus client. Yeah, I think that's the situation I'm gonna end up with too. Thanks for the tip though. This is week 2 of working in closure for me. Craigie GitHub. Oh wow, we got 2 new people in the chat. Welcome, Craigie. Yep, doing the same. Okay. Anyway, let's get back to our templates, right? So we're working on the plot input page. So let's see. Just gonna like mock up some screens here real quick, and I'll show them to everybody. So I think I'll have like a movie title. I'll have a quick summary of what do. I'll have like a text area thing here, and I'll have like a button. Input, submit. Yeah, so I think this is what I'm doing for the input. So, I don't know if you guys can read that, but essentially what I'm going to have here is like the movie title. So this is going to be like the title you're working off of, like the old movie No One Ever Knows that you're making the fake plot for. And then we're going to have like a brief summary of like what to do, because like, you know, when you're playing a game, you're kind of, you know, not in a super focused mode, or at least I'm not. So, you know, you want to have like a, you know, reminder for your players of like what the point of this whole thing is, especially if they're a new player or if they haven't played in a while. Then I think like a text input down here so they can, you know, input the plot and edit it. So that'll just be your typical like text area element. And then a submit button when you are done. And then there's going to be a time limit too, right? So I think like having something like that at the outset would be a good idea. So let's do one more version of this. Movie title. Do like a count down movie title summary. Input and submit. All right, so that's pretty similar to the previous one, but this one will have like a little countdown timer in the top corner. Since this be like a time thing, you get like a minute and a half or 2 minutes, or you know whatever ends up you know, making the game fun. So that'll be something in the top right corner. Yeah, so let's get to it. Okay, so plot inputs. Yeah, first thing we need is a div. Then we need another div, a class of timer, a div with the class of header, a div, class of summary, div, class inputs, and div with a class of submit. All right, get rid of this. Reload that into our REPL, and I'll head back to our screen. All right, got an empty content with nothing in there, but we do have our timer, header, summary, input, and submit. All right, so let's start with the header. Over here we did have a lot of stuff already that we can lift. Maybe we make this like global.css and we copy our font face information. We copy nothing else actually. This is all landing page grid stuff. All right. Yeah, actually, let's go back here. Slash global CSS, right? Okay. All right, back to the thing. Did I get it? Ah, I didn't because I didn't reload the file. Cool, is it in the network tab? It is, we got it. All right. Yeah, so let's start with the header, right? It's going to be a div. Yeah, it's probably not going to be like header. Still there, Connor. I could do some accessibility consultation at the moment. All right, so it's going to be a div or an h1. Maybe 39 steps. We'll close that. We'll move these back. Reload it. Back to here. Oh, super, super mega tiny. No, no. Also, our global CSS has that. That like fade thing going on, which I don't necessarily want. All right. Great. So this font is super tiny. So let's learn what is a good header font size for mobile. 16 pixels. Right. But you know what? This is in Tailwind already. We don't need to invent this from scratch. Let's go to the Tailwind docs for our text sizing utilities. Documentation, typography, font size. Yeah, text large. Let's start with that. And let's also get rid of some of this extraneous stuff. Text LG, that was it. All right, text LG is not large enough. What are these rem units based off of? Font size, 18 pixels, so just gonna guess that's based off of 16. Yeah, so let's go with like 3XL. Don't forget to reload it. Still not big enough. Let's try 5XL. Man, seems like should have the ability to make something a little bigger than that, right? Ah, that was just examples. We can go way up. 7XL. Right, that's looking pretty good. Okay, so now is a good time to start with our grid layout too, right? Okay, so we got timer, header, summary, inputs, and submit. New file, flat inputs, that's CSS. Put that there for now. Let's go back to our layout. Include one more file. Flat inputs. Don't need this, may need this. All right. So here are our page contents. And I think I want to do like class plot input grid. Here we go. All right, display grid, template, columns. We're gonna call that one fraction of the page since we're just gonna have like one single column, at least for the time being. Grid, template, rows. And these are going to be different sizes, right? So we got like that movie summary, which I think, this is kind of like the chibi layout version, if you guys are familiar with that anime style. But I think movie summary is like the top quarter of the page. The submit button is the bottom 15% of the page. Input will definitely dominate the middle area, so we'll just leave that for like however much room it ends up having. Yeah, so let's start with that. Do like 20%, 1FR, 15%. That'll give us 3 rows. All right, grid, template, areas. All right, we're gonna have a header. Let's get this look a little nicer. Input and submit. Summary goes with header. Timer we'll handle separately later. All right. All right, dot something, dot timer. Nope. Summary, header input and submits. Grid area. All right, cool. So we got that. We got the plot input grid. Everything has the right class, I believe. Although I do need to move the summary inside the header. And let's put the timer in there for now too. Header input submit. All right. I think we're also going to have to make this like height 100%. So it fills up the whole screen. All right. Cool. Load this into the REPL. If any of you more skilled Clojure people have any suggestions on how to get this whole shebang to kind of hot reload when I make changes to my Clojure files, by all means. All right, header, input, and submit. Well, it's probably easier if they had some content. Reload the file. think we got our plot input CSS. Yep, so we have to require that first. There we go, inspector, body. Yeah, that's weird. We got the plot input CSS. We got divs, which what I thought had the correct classes. And yet we receive no grid styles. Curious. It's all goofed and malformed. Okay, load that one more time. There we go. Probably not 100%. 100 view heights. There we go. That's more what we want. This container div is kind of messing this up, so let's change that. Empty div without a class is okay. Great. All right. Big question is whether we're going to be able to get away with 100 VH. So let's call that min height. Min height. So it can grow if it needs to, but it won't default to that necessarily. All right. And whether or not you have to put something in quotes is a perpetual mystery to me when it comes to CSS. Grid area input. Okay, cool. All right. So we got the basic layout. I think we need a little bit of room on the top of the page. I remember I did that from before, so let's just copy that. Like a margin top of 10. All right, margin top of 10. All right, that'll scoot that down. What we need is a class text center. Pretty sure that was. Yep. All right. Movie with 39 steps. All right, next thing we need is a summary. So let's just get some summary text going. Let's try out, this will have a P, which says something like, ran a fake plot for the movie above. Try trick your friends into thinking it's the real plot. Oh no. Did I put that in the H1? Why is that so huge? Ah, because it's got the text 7L on the whole div. That's right. Okay. So really that should be just for the header element. And the P class, like a text base. I think there was. Yeah, text base. Let's start with that. Text base. Yet I didn't wrap it. Man, is that really one? Oh, you know what? I'm looking at this like really tiny. How do I scale this? So it's the iPhone 10, but can we like... You could view it at like a certain scale, like 1x or 2x or something. Maybe that's just Chrome. Or maybe that was like super zoomed out. Oh man. Okay, always be sure to hit Command 0 because you never know if you're super zoomed in. Alright, text 7L, way too big. Let's try text 3L. And why? Do I keep getting sent to this like weird zoom level? March top 10 width 100. It's nice the full width. Is that goofing us up before? There's something like way off on the side. No. Here I got some kind of weird thing going on in Firefox right now. Mobile viewer. iPhone 10. Yeah, that's what I was looking for before. At like 100%, 200%. Why am I so tiny? Font size 1 rem. Computed to be 16 pixels. Boy, that sure seems really small. But I guess we'll go with it. Maybe this will be a more productive thing if I just like develop it in a tiny window for now, as opposed to like a real mobile browser. Okay. Yeah, it's weird. It's pretty weird. Yeah, oh well, we'll just develop it in a skinny screen and that'll be a fine stand-in for an actual mobile device. Maybe off screen I can figure out what's going on. All right, so I'm seeing that I want some padding. I think I want like P10. Yeah, it's a bit much. And I also had it on my original page. Margin top, P10. Yeah, let's call it like P5. All right, that's looking better. We need some margin in between the header and the summary, so we'll do like margin bottom 5. All right. Try tricky friends. Okay. All right, so we got the movie, we got the summary, we need the input now. So this is going to be a inputs type equals text area. Let's go back here. Attributes, form, name, placeholder, required rep. Class will be width 100 and height 100, so it fills up its whole grid area. So let's start with that and see what we get. Get nothing. Or at least nothing visible right away. Hi, hello. Width 100 and height 100. So it didn't fill up its input div. Do I have the right Tailwind classes? Sizing, width. Width full, that's what we're thinking of. So width full, and I hope height full. Height full, yep. Nice, okay, that's what we're looking for. All right, so we got a nice big input area. Yeah, so how far should we get into styling this? I think that nice blue I had from the landing page is going to look nice. And even if we don't use it, border blue, BG blue 500, background blue 500. So that's a Tailwind thing. Color. Ooh, blue 400. That's very pretty. Yeah, let's go with blue 400. So we can go back. Well, first we need to go to our reference. BG blue 400. Oh, so nice. So very, very nice. Great, so we got that. Now we got a good basis for putting things into cards, giving them white backgrounds. Probably something we want to do. But we also need a wrapper div to put this blue background on. Div class BG blue 400. And I'm sure there's an awesome way to do this with Calva commands and slurping and barfing and all that, but I don't know how to do that yet. BG blue, take that off, and I think we'll have what we want. Just a totally blue background. You know what, we didn't do yeah, we need to separate the container from the grid. Container. Yep, I'm muting. All right. So I'm having some weird problems with that white bar at the top, but we'll move on from that soon enough, I'm sure. Actually, that's probably a good placeholder for the eventual menu bar. All right, cool. So we got the movie. We got this. We got that. Hello. That was in there for before, right? Okay. Yeah, we goof up our input. The grid. Grid. Yep, I'm a front-end developer. Sure am. Okay. Alright, so to distinguish the bottom of our screen here, I think we need to have some margin bottom between the header and the inputs. Div class inputs, call it like margin bottom 5. There we go. Probably get away with less, but that's looking pretty good for now. And this input needs a label. So we'll do a label for it's like what is that? The plot input. This needs a corresponding ID. Be nice. And semantic label is input. Cool. BG white. Very good. All right, so now I think our input needs a border, right? One of the really nice things about Tailwind is you can Tailwind go online and find a bunch of really nice pre-built components already. Tailwind text area. Gray text. Yeah, looks okay. One too many quotes. All right. See what you look like. You're a bit hard to distinguish from the rest of your background, and I've already cut away those like 2.5 pixels of padding from the side, so I'm a little hesitant to add more padding. But we do have padding here, right? We've got like padding too, so this is fine. Great. I think I could definitely use a darker border. Border. Border width 1 pixel. Yeah, what if we do like border 2? Yeah, that's better. I like that a lot more. But already too tall. Width full, height full. Well, height auto is not what we want. Yeah, I guess we need a grid layout for the input, right? Because we've got like this input div, that's where everything should be, but now it's got like the label and the input itself. So if we want this to be like a certain size, we'll call it like oh, hell, I don't know, 20 pixels. And then we can tell the grid to make this like the rest of the height, and then everything will like fit inside its container and not overflow. So if we go back to our inputs, we'll just add another grid area. Display grid, template columns, just give it one. Grid template rows, 20 px auto. All right, and then if we tell this to be height full again, pretty sure it's going to give us what we want. Very nice. Okay, so now we got plenty of room for the plots. I feel like there's some kind of grid thing, like min heights, CSS grid, min content. Yeah, that was it. Min max. Yeah, let's try this. Min max 20 pixels, max content. Oh. Now we're saying it's a minimum of 20 pixels, and if we change that number, we shouldn't see any layout changes. Right, okay, so that's cool. So now this will be a minimum of 20 pixels and a maximum height of whatever the actual content inside that's. The actual content inside that, like div within the grid will be. All right. Great. And yeah, now all we've got left is the submit button. Yeah, so we use this blue. I like this blue. Let's see if Tailwind has some other colors for us. Colors, borders, effects, tables. Background color, that was it. Wasn't there a big color section somewhere? Colors, that was it. All right, what color should the button be? Great starting point if you don't have your own specific branding in mind. Well, that pretty much describes me, right? So we got a blue, maybe like a purple. Purple 500. So instead of a piece of text saying submit, this should be a button. Input type button. Class purple. BG purple 500. Submit. All right, getting a little more comfortable with slurping, moving tags around. That's real nice. I think I want to crib that button style I had from before on the landing page. All right. Here's the footer, and here's our button. Okay. Okay, BG purple 500 and all that stuff. Margin bottom 5, don't need that. Text left, nope. Never. BG purple 400 to make it wider. Text white, font bold. Don't know what those do. Border blue 700. Border purple 700. Border purple. Let's give that a shot. CSS is awesome. CSS rocks. That's because I put this outside somehow. Why did I do that? Oh, that's weird. Button. Button type equals button. Maybe this will do it. There we go. That's what we want. Except we want width 100. Width full. Width full. There we go, and then we want text center. All right, then maybe a little padding, right? Little margin bottom. Where we go? Margin bottom 5. Of course, we saved it, but did not load it. And you know what? That's a little bit too far, and I think it looks better inside the white. Yes, that's no problem. I think I want to call that div something else, but we can totally move the submit button inside there. Yeah. Just have to get rid of that grid area. Definitely want our wrapper divs, but we don't want this no more. All right, so no more of that. No more of that. No more of this, and then 20 pixels max content. And how about another min max? It's gonna be bigger, so like 30 pixels max content. Let's make sure this is in there. All right. Little padding between the button and the input, and of course by padding I need margin. Margin bottom 2.5. Yeah, it's not listening to the padding, and I think that's probably something to do with grid. 20 pixels. One fraction of whatever's left over. Min max 30 pixels max content. I wonder if I could be a bad boy and do like Works. I'm going with it. Should never do that in CSS. You should always do margin bottom instead of margin top because of the concept of vertical flow. But in times such as these, I'm willing to let that slide a little bit. All right. Excellent. So we got our page. We basically got our page. We got a half hour left until 12 o'clock. So I think in that next half hour, I'm going to work on is adding like a header, because we definitely need one of those, like a header with a hamburger menu on it up there in the top corner, and then the timer as well, and then everything that we've developed so far will go underneath here. All right. Plot input grid. Yeah, this is going to be like more of a component in the end. Yeah, so let's think strategically here. We could put it inside the grid of the plot input area, but this is going to be like one of those global things that's like on every single page. So if I put it inside this grid, like I'm kind of tying this specific page, which is the like plot input page, to the to the global thing, which is the header. If I can have those things like live separately from each other, I think my life will be a lot easier. So I will therefore define it up here. Header class. So definitely width full. We should have been width full this whole time. Width full, height. I guess this could be a fixed height, right? So this could be like 15, 20 pixels. 20. Now let's just give it something silly like a BG green 100. Inside the header, we'll have an H1, which is the title of the page. The title of that page is the name of our game, which is Plotters. And let's just take a look at what that is looking like real quick. Okay, so the header's way too big. Header's way too small. What? These are. Keep forgetting. These are rems. These aren't pixels. I'm not telling it to be 20 pixels. I'm telling it to be 20 multiples of the base rem units. That's really what I was looking for, was like height 10. That'd be too small, right? We got like height 15 right now. Height 12. Let's try height 12. Yeah, that's much more reasonable. Okay. So color for that. How about man, I've got these colors. Thing open so much, may as well just have that open in a separate tab. Yeah, how about a blue 900? Blue 900. And then like text white. Yep. We called the header text 5XL, so let's call this like a text 3XL. Nice. Just a itty bitty little margin top. Nope, not what we want. We want a padding top of 2. Very good. Okay. And then we need is like a fake hamburger menu and like a fake timer. And we may as well remove this massive margin top. Or maybe just get rid of it at all. Altogether. Yeah, that's great. Okay. Fake hamburger menu, fake timer. Okay, so I wonder if we can get like a Tailwind hamburger menu. Hamburglar. Doesn't really seem like something Tailwind would be into. Yeah. Yeah, hamburger menu, CSS, HTML, pure CSS hamburger menu. Don't need something super complicated. Building a morphing hamburger menu. Don't really need that either. I just need the stuff. Or maybe like an SVG icon, that'd be good. CSS tricks, trusted resource. Perfect. Now transline this inline HTML SVG into Hiccup syntax. Probably not going to find this. Nah, not going to find it. I was thinking I'd search for a some kind of like closure hiccup thing, but I'm definitely not getting that. Converting between these things isn't like so hard. It's just a little bit time consuming. And let's always keep in mind that all the stuff I'm building now is stuff that I can use later. All right. Wrecked. Get wrecked. All right. Why? Width. Height. I wonder if there's like a HTML to Hiccup converter. That'd be really cool. Cool, and that's all we really need. Okay. Width 40 and height 40. Don't know how I feel about that. All right, so we'll have the SVG right there. And let's start with that. Let's see what that looks like. Very good. goofed up my header text a little bit, but that's okay. I think we need a class for this header so we can lay it out with grid. Okay. Class plot input header, plot input header. Okay, plot input header. All right, this will be a display grid templates, columns, grid template rows. I don't need anything about width or height. I just need the actual grid stuff. Okay, grid template columns. Call it like 20%, one fraction, 20%. Think. Grid template, template. Rosato. I think that's all I need. Let's see what this looks like. Not quite there. It's because I don't have the class on the thing. Nice, okay. Looks like a good amount of room, right? Yeah, very good. Okay. Let's get that SVG a little padding, hey? Class. Padding left 2.5. Yeah, that's good. Then I want these rects to be white. Is it color? Is it fill? Is it background? All right, cool. Let's do rect elements. XY width, height, path, color. Stroke. I think what I want is fill. Fill whites. Yep, there we go. Cool, so we got our hamburger menu, we got our title, and now we need our timer. P. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting thing. So we'll call this like div class timer. And for now, let's just do some like static text. So like two minutes. All right, so I've got like a vision in my head of like a round thing, so like something that looks like a clock, like a countdown timer. But given the fact that this is kind of MVP kind of thing, I think it's going to be a smarter and more what's the thing I'm looking for? More like time responsible. I think there's a better formulation of that idea somewhere in the English language, but yeah, I think I'll just do something like super simple. The whole point of like putting it in the corner was to make it all prominent, right? So if it's not going to be all prominent in the corner, I wonder if there's like a better place to put it in general. Somewhere like here. Yeah, it's probably good. You have error and a fake plot for the movie. You have 2 minutes remaining. Yeah, so maybe we'll have like our like rules reminder here, and then we'll have like a time remaining thing here. Yeah, that's a better idea. That's a better idea for now. We can make this fancy if and when it takes off. Summary. Trick your friends. Endless copy refinements. Kill your darlings. And then we'll do like a P, the class of something. Remaining class text base. Bless you. All right, so that's going to be a text center. Refine the plots. Text center for you two, I guess. Text center. And like a text bold. Typography. Font weight. Font bold. And font extra bold. Extra bold. Yeah, I think like a red, yeah. And not a super stressful red, but something to let you know that time is of the essence. Maybe like a span. Font red 500. Text red, that's it. Text red 500. Perfect. All right. Okay, we got 15, call it 14 minutes remaining. How about we tighten this up a little bit? So, not making anything interactive. We're just doing layout. I think we can use a little less room in between there and there. Margin bottom 2.5, yeah. And then for some reason, altogether, our game screen is just a little bit too tall. Let's load that, reload it. And I think it's because I told this thing to be like min height 100 VH. Then now we have the header to contend with. But if we know the height of the header, height 12. What's height 12 give you again? 3 rem. So I could probably do something fancy where I let's save the height of the header as some kind of like CSS variable and then reference that when calculating the height with the game container, but that's probably going to change somewhere along the way, and that sounds kind of complicated to start. So how about I do like calc 100 VH minus 3 rem, and that should give us the right height for everything. Nice. All right, cool. This is looking good. Honestly, I'm liking these Tailwind colors. I'm liking these a lot. These all work nicely together, and the past projects I've gotten like super tied up on choosing a color palette, as I've just got like a untrained eye, shall we say, when it comes to these kinds of things. So yeah, having something like this, which just kind of works harmoniously and looks like good enough for an MVC kind of thing, MVP kind of thing. That's really nice. I like that a lot. I wonder if I can get a nicer label style. Text input, label style, Tailwind. Have style form. Yep. Floating forum wheel. Well, if I can get it for free, I'll dig it. Uppercase, that makes sense. This is looking a little stodgy for a fun, goofy game, isn't it? I hate these things. Custom forms. Yeah, it's nice. I'll go with that. MT4. Business. Font bold, text large. Yeah, that whole like text gray uppercase thing, I think that probably fits in with what I'm trying to do. Label 4. Class. Uppercase, font bold. Text large, sure, let's give it a try. I like uppercase. I do like the color, I think. You know, that benefit from a placeholder too. It was a dark and stormy night. Placeholder. No placeholder text. Oh, input text area. Don't need this. There we go. That's what we want. That's why we didn't have this grabby thing before, because we had the wrong elements. All right, cool, guys. So 1152, and yeah, there's our plot input page, right? Yeah, it's nothing like exceptionally fancy. There's probably a few things I'd change about it, but altogether, I think it's great. I think it's the MVP. I think it's a great basis to start from, and if we need to make it fancier, we can. So anyway, I'll stop there for today. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. after all that. So we'll mark this as done. Done, son. Excellent. A little bit of fist bump. Got to celebrate your small victories when you have them. People take all kinds of opportunities to kick themselves when they don't get something done, but we rarely take an opportunity to celebrate something when it does go right. So I'm going to fist pump one more time in that I set out to do something this morning and I got it done. I got my plot input page to finish, and I can just copy that straight over to the React component when I get done with it. All right, great. So remaining pages are the voting page, the results page, the game lobby, login sign up page, and the user settings page. Oh, Cliff says, is that the E-Trade purple button? Man, it's real close, isn't it? I didn't even realize. etrade.com. Not quite. Ooh, it is E-Trade hover purple. I wonder. Docs.design. etrade.design. Docs.etrade.design. That's what it was. I wonder if I inadvertently chose the hover color. Did I? Brand. Typography. Is that defined here? Yeah, anyway, it's close enough. I think something in my subconscious mind reached out for it, didn't it? So anyway, we got that done. We got a few more pages coming up. We got Reframe and WebSockets and all that stuff eventually, but if you're gonna have a back end, you need a front end for it. So I think I'll continue with the Hiccup stuff for the time being. I'll do a little background research on how WebSockets Reframe and all that works, and yeah, by the time I'm ready to roll around to like actually build out the game logic for real, I'll have a bunch of really nice looking pages for it. So anyway, we'll see you tomorrow, guys. Thank you for joining, and I'll catch you later. First, I need to stop the stream.